Now, I'm a fan of Epic the Musical. I enjoyed it so much that I have so many songs put onto my Spotify from the show. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of Odysseus. Like, I have read the Odyssey, both from, like, in school and from later in life. And I must say, Odysseus was one of those characters that I have never liked. Like, at all. Because all of this, all of the tragedy he is going through right now, and all the turmoil and all that BS, was his own damn fault. Now, in the musicals, like, retelling of these events, he tells his name because he's essentially just like, remember us and remember me and the people that you killed because you didn't decide to spare us. That is the reason why you were blind. In the original freaking text, the reason Odysseus gave the Cyclops his name was because of pride. Because he wanted that Cyclops to know that he was bested by Odysseus, the king of Ithaca. So all the turmoil and strife that this man is going through was his own damn fault. Also, to keep in mind, the definition of a hero in, like, old Greek literature is completely different than our modern interpretation of a hero. Like, in our modern interpretation, I don't even think we could categorize Odysseus as a hero because man is just a whole bunch of awful. In the original telling, man was perfectly fine being able to sleep with both Circe and I'm pretty sure he slept with Calypso. Meanwhile, his wife is surrounded by suitors and she doesn't even sleep with any of them, even though she doesn't know her husband is alive and it's been, like, what, over 20 flipping years? And when he gets, like, the bag of wind, I'm just left screaming at the fact that, yes, the men were really dumb for freaking opening the bag, but Odysseus is kind of dumb for not actually keeping it with him. Or maybe really emphasizing to the men that there is nothing physically in the bag, it's a magic bag of wind that will take us flipping home. Let's also not forget the godly interventions that he gets, because Hermes just kind of gives him a flower for him to be able to defeat Circe. And Circe herself being willing to give up freaking information to how to get into the underworld. And I can't believe Odysseus was surprised when his men decided to freaking mutiny against him, considering he already lost over 558 of their fellow brethren, not to mention the 6 that you were willing to sacrifice to flipping Scylla. And yeah, it may have made for not a really great legend or anything like that, but what was really preventing him from just staying on Circe's island? No, like, really, like, the amount of time it took them and the amount of time that they spent on Circe's island, how did he even know that his wife wasn't already remarried at that point? Because for all Penelope knows, her man could have freaking died in the war. Yeah, as you could probably tell, I'm not a big fan of Odysseus as a character. Like, this new interpretation, I will say, is very fascinating, very interesting. But at the same time, I still don't really want him to have a happy ending. And if you're gonna get in this bill, the man has suffered enough. He deserves to see his son and wife. I would argue, no he doesn't. It was his own actions, his own stupidity, and his own pride that put him in the situation that he is in. Man just literally went through suffering the consequences of his own actions.